Right, just having a walk about as always. Location's key. I've got my water butt and a bucket. I'm just gonna bucket a swim. Not normally a thing I need to do on here, as it's not really busy yet, but it's still worth doing just in case anyone rocks up. But I'm gonna just chuck them down in the in-between, which is the swim I fished the last time I was here, and obviously had a few fish out of. I'm going to just sit in the swim for a bit, watch the water, and just see if anything shows. Well, there you go, one's just shown over there. That's out in front of the swim next door, really. So far I've seen 2 fish show. One probably out towards the area I was fishing last time, and another actually only about sort of 50 yards out, slightly to the right. Big clouds just come in, looks like it's about to empty it down with rain. 2 guys fishing. One over on the opposite bank in the big log, and there's one down to my left in the corner. Right, well, as always, location is key, and I've had a bit of a look around in a couple of swims, and I have been seeing fish show in front of the in-between. I've been sat there for about 15 minutes, and I've seen about 3 shows. So one as soon as I walked into the swim, and then saw another couple while I was sat there watching the water. So to be honest, it looks like a good shout. I know I fished it last time. To be fair, I had a good hit out of there last time. You know, I don't always like dropping in the same swim, because sometimes just because you've had a good result doesn't mean you will again. But there's fish showing in front of the swim, so it does look a good one. And also there's a guy right down in the bottom corner, and there's another guy over on the far side, and they're obviously spread out around the lake, so for me to drop in the middle kind of makes sense as well, because that way there's one guy at one end, one guy at the other end, and me in the middle. So that is probably what I'm going to do. So I'm going to head back to the van, get the barrow sorted, and yeah, head down there and see if we can get some rods out before it pours down, because it looks like it's about to tip down. Sky is looking a little bit dark and grey and a bit angry. So anyway, let's head back to the van, let's go and get a kit, and see if we can catch one. Right then, we are back on the bank. Once again, we are on the Phil Syndicate in Oxford, hunting down some scaly chunks. We had a great session last time up here. I had 7 bites, 7 fish on the bank, a couple of 30-pounders, some backup 20-pounders. Really enjoyable trip. So I'm hoping today and tomorrow, I'm here for about 24 hours, I'm hoping we're going to be able to get amongst a couple again. So I've had a look on the score sheets in the lodge, and it turns out a fish called single scale got caught on the weekend. There was, I think, a bit of a quarter or embryo event on, so it was closed to members, but single scale got caught over 42 pound, so still looking like it's carrying some good weight, which is great to see one of the better fish out again. I've been watching the water for a bit before getting the kit into the swim, and I've actually seen a few fish show in front of here. Now, the weather's a little bit different to last time. Last time we had weather into the 20s. Today it's about 16, 17 degrees. We had quite a cool night as well. But the weather's also, the wind is also going a different way, so it's going the opposite direction to last time. Last time, I think it was like southerly, southwesterly. Today is a northwesterly, and it's bringing a lot of stormy, miserable weather with it. So it does look good for the fishing. You know, these are ideal fishing conditions at the moment, really, for this time of year. But it doesn't always fish that great in what would be classed as sort of carpy conditions. So we'll see how it goes. But the fish have been showing, they're still clearly active. So I am confident that we might get a few. So anyway, I don't need to have a lead around because I know the spot. So I'm going to get the home up first. It looks like it's going to pour down. And then I'm going to get the rods wrapped up onto the money and get a bit of bait out there. And hopefully a carp won't be too far along. So let's crack on with it and let's see what we can do. Right then, let's get these rods wrapped up. Right, so I've wrapped up these two rods to the spot that I caught on last time, but this rod, I'm not actually going to wrap it up yet. What I'm actually going to do is just put a hook bait on it, and I'm actually going to put a paste wrap on the rig so it's really, really attractive. I'm just going to cast it out about sort of 50 yards slightly to my right, because I've seen a couple of fish show out that way. So I'm literally going to just put on a cured hook bait and I'm going to just send it out that direction and just see if I can get a bite on that. Basically just a quick sort of opportunist bite. Right, so when I'm doing this sort of thing, it's never as quick as I'd like it to be because I'm obviously filming everything that I do. So it's probably going to be 10 times longer to do this sort of stuff than it would be for the average angler, because I'm obviously trying to film and document what I'm doing. But what I will do is just get a rod out like that. So that's gone about, I don't know, 40 to 50 yards. Got a bit of a bow in the line. But I've seen a few fish show quite close sort of range. So it'd be interesting to see if that can actually produce a bite. Right, here we go, we've got a single out then. Let's see if that rattles off. Right, and let's get the rods out. So, last session I caught more fish on the bottom bait. So I was fishing 2 pop-ups and 1 bottom bait, and I caught 4 fish on the bottom baits and 3 on the pop-ups. So in my eyes it means the bottom baits were doing the job better. So I'm going to fish 2 rods on bottom baits and maybe 1 on a pop-up just to see if it makes any difference. So anyway, this is the setup then. So quarter hybrid lead clip, 4-ounce lead, weedy green sort of style, and then I've got about 6 or 7 inches of tungsten loaded. Now because I'm fishing bottom baits, this is the stiff version. I think it's more effective on a bottom bait. A couple of little weighted beads there just to make the rig heavy, sits on the bottom better, and also I think it aids with the hooking ability of the rig. Because I'm using a bottom bait, I want it to be heavy because it helps drop the rig into the bottom of the fish's mouth. And then obviously take off the little filter protecting the hook. And we've got a ESP, what were the grippers, I can't actually remember what they're called now, I think they call them something different. But that's my Ronnie section, but converted to a bottom bait. And then I've got a 15mm DNA bug cured bottom bait on there. And that is going out into the pond, and hopefully that's going to produce the goods. So I've got 2 rods that are going to be fishing on this presentation. So let's get them out, and hopefully we'll be getting a fish shortly. Right, that felt good. Get that line soon. Right, so this rig is slightly different. So I'm using a quarter crank, which is normally the hook pattern I use for my Ronnie rigs on my pop-ups. But I'm going to try it on a bottom bait, as I do really like these hooks. Seem to get some really good hook holds with them. Obviously take off the little protective filter. Oh, I'll pick that up in a sec. So on here again I've got a cured bottom bait. I've got a little tiny piece of corn topper on there, a little plastic bit of corn. That isn't going to balance it at all. That is literally just to add a little fleck of colour, just something a little bit different out there. Now on this one, instead of having it right around towards the point, I've got it exiting a little bit further up, and that's just because of the pattern of hook. I think it's going to be more effective if I fish it like that. I think it's probably going to be able to grip in and get a better hook hold having it around there as opposed to having it right round. I'm not trying to make that point heavy because the hook pattern's different. So that is the tactic on this one. We'll see what happens, just to play around with it really, see what kind of hook holds I get, and see if which pattern of hook produces a better hook hold. It'd just be interesting to see really. So anyway, let's get this one out on the pond. Oh, bang. That's the money. Tighten the clutch. Never fish a loose clutch. Always have it tight. Make the fish fight for it. Helps keep the hook in as well, I always think. I think it keeps the hook hold stronger. Give the rod a dip. Just gets her all lubricated. Right, here's the mix then. Pretty much all boilie. I got some 8mm, 15mm dumbbells and 18mm boilies in there. There is a bit of the S7 and Bug 4mm pellet as well. And I've also got, you might be able to see, some chunks of paste as well, just to add some instant attraction. Breaks down really fast, gets loads of scent in the water. Does the job, that. All 3 rods of fish in then. So I've got 2 rods at the moment on the actual baited spot. I've just put a bucket of bait on it. I've put in more than I did last time, just because I want to see if more bait potentially produces more bites, or what kind of reaction it's going to give me. When I was here last time, I put a good amount of bait and I didn't top up between bites, not until the following day, because I didn't want to disturb the spot by putting the spot out there. I don't know if that made any difference, but obviously the bites kept coming. Maybe if I put more bait in, I might have had even more fish, I don't know. But I'll see what happens. So I've put a decent hit of bait in there to start with. Hopefully they're up for a bit of grub again. I'm using a mix of S7 and Bug. I've got a mix of 8mm dumbbells and 18mm. So with that, I've also got some of the S7 and Bug pellets, so 4mm pellets, sort of mixed 50-50. And I've also put a little bit of liquid in there, a bit of the Bug liquid food, and also the Bug hydro spod syrup. So pretty simple stuff, very effective, just giving them some proper carp grub. Actually, I also put a little bonus in there, which I did last week, which I think actually made a difference. And I've actually broken up a load of paste. So I've put about 1 kilo of paste in the mix, all broken up into loads of different size chunks. Obviously that's going to break down really quickly, make the spot really active, and give off loads of scent and attraction. So hopefully that brings the fish onto the spot a lot quicker than just using straight boiling pellet. So anyway, we'll see what happens. But talking about food, I've given them some grub. It's now time to give me some grub, and I'm absolutely starving. It's not anything since this morning, so I'm very hungry at the moment. So I'm going to put some food on and sit back, watch the evening drifting tonight, and hopefully one of those rods goes wanging off. Hopefully we get a bite and catch another chunk. So let's see what happens. Right, evening then. So the sky has just gone absolutely black. See if you can see this. I don't know how well it'll come out. Look at that up there. It's gone really black. It's not showing it quite as much because I've got the ISO up to try and get some better light on the quality of the video. But yes, it is absolutely black up there at the moment. It looks like it's going to pour down. It absolutely looks like a bit of a thunderstorm, to be fair. The wind's sort of dying off a little bit as well, so it does look like we could be in with a bit of a storm. We're not supposed to have any this evening, although there are some forecasts for tomorrow, so it'd be interesting to see how it turns out. But it looks very, very carpy at the moment. The lake's sort of starting to flatten off a little bit. I've seen a few fish showing, not loads, but there has been the odd fish sort of showing. The right rod that I cast out when I first got here to a couple of showers, I've not actually seen anything really showing out that way anymore. So in a second, I'm actually going to bring that rod in and put it out towards the bait, basically put it out on the bait again. So we're going to have 3 out on the bait spot. It's a little bit all eggs in one basket, but to be fair, it worked last time. I've got a big hit of bait out there, and I just feel that this is the time that, like, I don't know what it is, but this time of year going into the autumn, the fish seem to really stack on the weight and really feed up. I think it's because they've spawned, they're empty, and they're really on the feed heavy, just sort of trying to get that weight back on maybe. I don't know if it's like a natural instinct for them to try and sort of replenish after they spawned, but they seem to really respond well to bait after they spawned on here. So I've gone in with it, hopefully it works. Now, last time I was here, the first bite I didn't have until about 10:30, I think it was anyway. It was a bit into dark, so it might be that, you know, I might have to wait for dark really for the rods to start livening up, but we'll see what happens. If nothing happens, or if I only have a bite, I'll still be happy with the fish. So it'd be interesting to see anyway, that amount of bait, whether it's sort of been a bad thing or not, you know. So anyway, I don't want to mumble too much. I'm going to go sit down, polish off my tin of cider, and watch the last dregs of the light go, and hopefully I'll be updating you with a nice fish very, very shortly. Well, it's taken a while to actually get a bite, but we have finally had one. 19-pounder, bang on, lovely fish. But yeah, it was about 4:30 in the morning this one went off, so it's taken a while to get the bite. Definitely haven't been on it like they were last time, but nice to actually have one. Nice scaly fish. Only a little one, but it is a fish, so happy days. I've got the camera a little bit high up, I've just realised, but it'll do for now. But yeah, nice fish. Just taken on DNA bug cured bottom bait off the bait. Hopefully there's a few more along the way, but yeah, nice to get a bite. Let's get her home. Well, morning then. I've just slipped that fish back and got the rod back on the spot. It's about 5 o'clock now. I'm quite surprised it took so long to get a bite, if I'm honest, but it's nice to be off the mark and not blanking, so can't complain. I heard a few fish showing during the night, quite a few showing sort of more at the other end, and the guy off of the big log on the far side, he actually had a bite about, I think it was about 10:30, and I kind of, when I heard it go, I kind of thought, oh, here we go then, the fish are starting to switch on, and was kind of sat there in anticipation that maybe I was going to start getting a bite or two. But it didn't happen. I stayed up till quite late. It's probably about 2 o'clock in the morning, just listening to the lake and seeing if anything was going on. But yeah, anyway, it's not sort of kicked off as I thought it might, but we've had one, so can't complain, and it is a fish. And we're off the mark. So anyway, it's about 5 o'clock in the morning, so I'm actually going to get back in the bag and just get another couple of hours sleep. So hopefully we get woken up again shortly with another one, and if not, I will speak to you a bit later, probably having a coffee, once I've sort of woken up a bit after getting a little bit more sleep. So I'm going to go and jump in the bag, and I will see you in a bit. Jesus Christ, get the rods away. Well, the spot's kicked off this morning. I've had 3 bites. This is number 2, nice chunky one there, and number 3, a goldfish, both on the DNA bug, working once again. Get on it. Right, first one on a double bite. She's actually bigger than I thought she was. Real dense, thick fish. £29.3. How about that? Well happy. Nice result that. This one come on the DNA bug, on the Ronnie, on the pop-up. And obviously, over all that bait I put out yesterday, it was a lot of bait. But at the end of the day, these fish, they ain't getting big because they're not eating, that's for sure. And so I do think the more bait you put in sometimes, the more bites you potentially can get, and it does seem to pick up the bigger fish. So yeah, what a result. I kind of recognise the scale pattern on the side I'm looking at the moment. I think this might be a 30 normally. I don't know, it just looks quite similar, but sometimes they can look the same. But yeah, nice fish. Like I said, it might be a bigger fish normally. It's obviously in its summer weight at the moment, but it looks plump and healthy, to be honest, so you never know. But anyway, let's get her back and I get out fish number 2. Right, there we go then, that's fish number 3. That one's come on the cure bottom bait. And yeah, got one of the carrots. Lovely fish, 23.12. Happy days. But we'll get her back, it's pretty warm. So we'll get her home and see if we can get another one. Rigs are going back out. So I need to redo the line on these reels. I actually redid the line on that reel about 1 o'clock last night. And I need to redo the other 2. This one's not too bad, so I'm going to just send this one back out. I've left my glasses in the sunglasses in the van as well, which is a nightmare. But the other one is really, really badly twisted, and I need to re-spool it. So I'm going to have to do that in a sec. Sorted. Right, now I need to strip line off the other rod and re-spool it. Good, then spooling up on the bank. I'm having to use Fox Exocet because I didn't have any other line. I actually had a spare spool of this in the van, and I hadn't had a chance to order any more line from ProLogic, so I'm having to use this for now. So this is going to stay on there for a few months, I imagine. But to be fair, I used to use Fox Exocet and it's a great line. It's just I actually have to pay for it, whereas the ProLogic stuff, I'm lucky that I don't have to pay for it. I just haven't ordered any because I'm an idiot. Right, fresh line on a reel. Let's send her out there. That fell a bit short of the clip, but that was on the money. That did. Little tip, every now and then when you're reading the spot in, just stick the tip under the water and it just wettens the braid because it does dry out after a couple of casts. That way it just keeps it lubricated, a little bit less chance of having a crack off. Right then, so I have been at the shop and got myself a nice cold drink, as you've probably seen, and some sweets, why not? And I've actually rested the swim now for about 3 hours, maybe 3.5 hours. Like I said, I put all that bait in. I've rested a swim. I've literally just been chilling out, tying up some rigs, getting the rods sorted, ready to go out in the pond, and just doing a few bits here and there, doing a bit of admin, replying to messages on Instagram and YouTube and all that sort of stuff. And I'm also sort of watching the water just to see if anything's showing. Not actually seen anything show, but the wind's picked up again. It's now going back up the other end, the top end, so it's like a northerly sort of direction. But it feels a little bit cooler at the moment as well, which is quite nice. It's gone overcast. We got that bit of a wind back, so it feels a little bit cooler. So it does feel a bit more like there might be a bite on the cards at the moment. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I've got the rods all sorted, ready to go, and I just need to get them wrapped up on the old wrapping stick. So we'll get them all wrapped up, ready to go out on the pond, and then I will probably be shortly sending them out there, and hopefully there'll be a fish not too far away. So we'll see how we get on, but anyway, let's get that done and let's try and get fishing again. Right, evening then. It's about, I don't know, half 7, 8 o'clock-ish, something like that. It is dinner time, just tucking into a nice breakfast wrap. I actually made this morning. I had a couple for breakfast. I kept a couple for this evening. The idea of that is just in case I ended up having a bit of a feeding spell through the day and sort of run out of time to really sort of cook anything decent. I thought I'd sort of try and be prepared and made myself some up for this evening. That said, obviously not much has happened today during the daytime. I brought the rods in and rested to swim, so I had plenty of time to actually make some food, but it is what it is. You're better off being prepared than not being prepared at all. So anyway, I've been watching the water for most of the afternoon since getting the rods out. I've seen a few fish showing, but a lot of them have been sort of up in the layers, cruising around, enjoying the bit of sun that we've had this afternoon. There's been quite a few showing down to my left, but a guy has actually turned up not long after I got the rods out and dropped in next door in a swim called the Scaffold. He is fishing quite short range as well, so I don't know whether he is trying to sort of cover those fish that you see moving, but I think they're up in the layers, cruising around really. Don't look like they're actually feeding on the deck or anything. And in hindsight, I might have been better off putting out some zigs for a few hours today, but I'll have to think about that next time really. So it's definitely looking ready for a bite time now on the deck. Hopefully the fish are going to get on that spot. I keep scanning the area where I'm fishing just to see if I get any flat spots come up, because I've got a bit of liquid and that in the bait, so potentially if something starts having a nose out there, it might give me a bit of an indication. Obviously as that oil comes up off the bottom, I might get a bit of a flat spot, but nothing's been happening yet. But then again, I've not seen anything showing, rolling, jumping, sort of showing indication of actually feeding. There's just been the odd fish sort of cruising around and the odd sort of vortex here and there. Anyway, I'm going to tuck into my food, but actually one thing I was going to ask you is, what is your go-to meal on the bank for dinner? So on the evening, what do you guys tuck into? So my favourite in the winter is a lasagna with extra cheese. So you've got to bring your extra grated cheese to put on top of a lasagna. And generally speaking, it's actually an M&S microwave lasagna done in a Ridge Monkey. I don't know why, I absolutely love it. It crisps off so nice, and then you put some extra cheese on it, absolutely mega. This time of year, I love bringing tortilla chips and putting some baked beans on top of them, and again just covering it in cheese. So yeah, completely unhealthy, but I only tend to eat twice on the bank. When I'm on the bank, I have my breakfast, and I tend to have one in the evening, and I might have a little bit in a day, but nothing of any sort of real substance. So anyway, what do you guys eat on the bank? What do you have for your dinner? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, I'm going to polish this off, I'm going to have my coffee as well, and hopefully we'll have one more fish before we have to go home. Oh, I forgot I did honey bacon. Oh yeah. When you're cooking your bacon, drizzle a little bit of honey on it. My God, it ups it to another level. Cooking with the fishing bloggers. Right then, well, it's dark, funny enough. It's just gone 10 o'clock. Now, I've been listening out for any signs of fish, and to be honest, I've heard quite a few up the other end. There seems to be quite a few fish showing up by the island. Maybe in front of the boat next door. There's actually someone in there at the moment. A few guys turned up today. There's about 3 blokes turned up. So at the moment, I think, me included, there are 5 currently fishing, so sort of half capacity really, but all the main sort of swims are taken other than the snake pit, which is actually the swim basically on the other bank at the top end that commands the back of the island, and that is a swim where the fish were showing. So where no one's in, that's where they were all showing. So there's a lovely little silt gully out towards the island, which is actually quite firm now. It's probably been polished off quite a bit. Had a few good hits off of there myself over the past few seasons, and yeah, they were showing up there. So if I was staying the night, I would potentially have moved, because it really looked like there was a few up that end. So anyway, we'll see how it goes now. I've just had an update from the missus to say that the boiler stopped working and she can't get any hot water. So I've been on the bank for a few days, definitely need a shower. Looks like I'm going to be having a cold one. So that's something to look forward to when I get home. But hopefully she's just not sure what she's doing, and I can get it to start working again when I get back. But fingers crossed that is the case. But anyway, we're going to give it another hour until I pack up. And yeah, let's hope it goes rattling off. Right, well, long story short, we're back at the van. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. The bite never came. I thought it was, and I did think there was a good chance of having one, but it seemed similar to last time. It hasn't happened, and it wasn't really worth me staying on, but you never know, do you? It's always worth giving it a go. You might get that bonus fish. But anyway, that's obviously the end of the video now. I need to get home. I've got to get up for the little one in the morning, so I'm going to be pretty tired tomorrow, but that's how it is. Getting in the hours on the bank is sometimes the only way you're going to be able to pick up fish, so you got to give it a go. Anyway, hopefully you like the video. If you do, then please give it a thumbs up. Also subscribe to the channel if you are new. Another little mention as well is we are looking at trying to upload some other videos in the week, maybe on a Friday or Saturday. So if you would like to see some other content, maybe some different species, different styles of video, potentially something a little bit shorter, not so much sort of an in session, but maybe some sort of tutorial based, talking about different things that we do but breaking it down a bit more, or maybe just fishing for other species, doing something slightly different, then let us know in the comments if you would like to see that sort of thing. But anyway, until next time, get out on the bank, be lucky, and I will see you next week.